The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show...
This could be a lot more complex. I mean, it's not just... It might not be just such a simple, you know?
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
Hey there, fellow dudes and dudettes and all other peoples of all other types. Welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. I'm here with Addy, my very favourite Californian stoner in Los Angeles. And we're going to be talking about the Big Lebowski, which is my favourite comedy of all time. And it's in my top 4 favourite movies of all time on Letterboxd. Every time I watch it, it gets closer and closer to being number 1. Sorry, Jaws, but you got to be fucking careful. But Jaws, you better be fucking really great when I watch you again next time, because the Big Lebowski the other night was excellent. I had such a great time rewatching it. I still laugh at all the jokes. I'm catching new stuff as well, which we'll talk about. But it's a perfect film. I adore it. But what's happening with you, Addy? What's going on with your bad self? Are you smoking weed and drinking White Russians? Or Caucasians?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, I'm just out of my element.
How good is John Goodman in this movie?
Oh my God.
He fucking steals the show.
You know,
I'm not buying you a fucking beer.
I'm calmer than
it's
you.
Not taking your turn, dude.
Way calmer than you.
Yeah, he's so passive aggressive in that moment. Oh, we're going to talk about it anyway. Sorry, what's going on, buddy? Oh,
nothing much. You know, I watched this for a film club, and we were talking about it. We kind of have this like role play thing that we do. We're a bunch of stupid gangsters.
That sounds sexy. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, it's not sexy.
And I subconsciously made a character that is exactly Walter, but in that role play.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, as soon as we like all talked about it, I was like, holy shit, I am like entirely Walter. And like, it happened so subconsciously. But yeah,
that's amazing. You can't help it, you know. Me and Charlie, eyeball to eyeball. That's fucking combat. And the dude's just doing his nails. I love it. I could watch it again tonight. I could, and be quite happy. But anyway, we'll do the thing that we do. We're going to talk about what have we been watching. It's going to be a little bit different because Addy is going to talk about something he's been listening to, which is very cool.
Yeah. But before you do that, how are you?
Oh, fuck. I'm all right. Why every time do I forget?
Hey, man, we love you.
I'm fine, everyone. If I sound a little bit hoarse, it's because I fucking sucked off a horse. No, I did not. I'm just gravelly. I'm not sleeping well. I haven't slept well in about a month. And it's been dusty and like really cold here. And yeah, it's kind of getting to me. So I'm a little bit stuffed up at the moment. So apologies if I don't sound my normal, liquidy tone. Maybe I sound better. Maybe I'm sounding sexier. Hey there, everybody out there in Podland. I'm taking my pants off.
In Los Angeles.
Something here in Los Angeles. And I've got a big mustache. I have my pants on. It's all right, everyone. Don't stress. But we are going to talk about what have we been watching. What
are we
watching? You go first because you wanted to talk about the thing, and it was like what 2 years ago today, something like that. That we released our Man of Steel episode. We did something like that.
Shit.
Yeah, like a couple of days ago, I saw that it was
I
you wanted to talk about that in a way.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll get to 2 things that I do want to talk about, and then I'll get into the Man of Steel thing. One, you just reminded me by sucking off a horse that I was
Hang on a minute. Wait, let's just go back a second. I didn't. Everybody out there, I didn't assault a horse. That's not what happened. It was consensual. It said yes. Even though it said nay, it meant yes. That's horrible. It was smiling and batting its eyelashes at me, okay? I sucked off a horse. It didn't happen. Go.
I was rewatching a few episodes of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. And what they had was like after every, because they would do like 3 episodes a month, and then they would have a break for like the 4th week. And so with that, they would do like a cast roundup. So like the cast would like sit down and talk about the game that happened and like the choices that they made. And in one of them, they encounter like a character played by Sam Riegel from Campaign 1, Scanlan. And he's a bard, basically. So he's a musician who's on tour. But to make travel more efficient, he's made his entire crew into centaurs. Like it's really efficient, and you save money on travel, and this way you can have fun while traveling as well. And then like mid game, he added this weird detail that you can just see Scanlan's like centaur dick just like flapping around, because it would be weird if it wasn't there. It would seem like something's missing.
That's true. Like if it was just a horse without a massive cock, that would be anatomically incorrect.
But then this horse is also wearing like purple undies with like golden lining around it. So yeah, I don't know. You just reminded me of that. Or what you said reminded me of that.
That's a little bit gay.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. So what have you been watching? Are you watching more horse stuff?
No, just
watching some dressage.
Just that. So it was that, and I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody. I don't know if any of them listens to this, but I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody working on X-Men 97, because it has been a blast. It has come back and been incredible. I'm not going to say much because I don't know if you've like watched or if you're like caught up with the episodes or not, but it's X-Men at its best, and I just this might be the best thing that Marvel has done, period. Even though I love so many other things, this might be the best one because I'm biased, because I love my mutants.
I know, it's all right. It's just what you're into. It's like the way that I feel about Daredevil. So people aren't going to be jived for that. What are you talking about? Daredevil's better than Endgame. Daredevil Season 2 is better than Endgame. I'm sorry. That's just for me. But yeah, I watched the X-Force episode, the Jubilee episode, and like they did the same thing that they did in the first season with Scott. They put him center stage and like, here's the one that you thought was fucking weak. He was a weak character or whatever, and made him a fucking badass. And same with Jubilee. Oh, cool. She's a half Japanese chick who can shoot sparks out of her hands, and she takes out all of those motherfuckers. It's just, yeah, like to find like greater purpose for those kind of characters that people maligned is part of the show's strength. Yeah, and I love the X-Force episode. Like, that's fucking Psylocke taking motherfuckers down, and Cable being this like actual character that has layers because he's you know about his history, as opposed to being just this huge fucking roided out future dude. He's actually he's fighting for his family, and yeah, it's an excellent show. I've only 2 episodes in, because every time I start watching it, Paul, my cat, gets frustrated because it's late at night. He's like, "Would you fucking go to bed already? I don't want to X-Men. I'm a cat. Go to bed." So I go to bed and he goes and sleeps on my feet. Yeah, it's such a great show, and you should be fucking you should dig it as much as you do, because it is your shit,
Yeah, it's also in that episode that Jubilee calls Havoc Dollar Store Cyclops, which is
it's true. Fuck that guy.
I don't like we have not established that in this version of this show or this world that they both know that they're brothers, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
So it's another level of it's 2 levels of dig, and it's fucking incredible.
Outstanding. And what was the other thing that you wanted to talk about?
All right, so I watched the concert film of Hans Zimmer, because usually, like, sometimes I do that because like I love Dune, and I love a lot of Hans Zimmer's work. The one that is like underappreciated the most is the Man of Steel score, because everybody has
100%.
so many opinions on it, and because it's the least whimsical in quotes of the Superman themes, that it gets overlooked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they play the Man of Steel portion of his score, it starts off with "Look to the Stars" and then goes into "Flight" immediately. Oh no, it starts off with "Flight" and then goes into "Look to the Stars."
Is this the concert where he's got the? I'm not sure. Forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. It's either an Indian gentleman or a Sikh who plays the drums. His name's Rama something.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You didn't notice the drummer. He's just one of the fucking best drummers who's ever lived. It's incredible.
I will have to look into that.
I literally saw that clip of them playing "Flight" at one time, and I'm like, what the fuck is that guy's arms doing? I don't even know if he has just 2. Might be Goro up in this bitch. And I'd like to welcome now. Here is my drama. It's Goro from what's the island called? The fucking island that we have in the Mortal Kombat. Why do I sound like this? This is not Hans Zimmer, but you know what I'm doing.
What island are you talking
everyone,
about?
Hans Zimmer. Sometimes I take off my shirt at Coachella.
What?
He didn't he get like topless at Coachella and just fucking rock out? I love it. He's such a gangster.
I'm not dialed into that.
Okay, I'll send you some pictures. Sorry, I keep hijacking your point. Go ahead.
But yeah, while listening to like the Flight theme that they were playing, I tapped into this, I don't know, some sort of mental state where I understood the words behind the actual theme, the main instruments used in the first portion of it before the chorus. So I'm going to read out to you what I wrote at 2:16 a.m.
Awesome. This sounds like it might be a manifesto.
It could be. All right.
Awesome.
So it starts with like light, simple piano notes, right? And this indicates the simple hope and dream of Jor-El, which is just pure survival of his species and survival of his son. Survival of his species through his son. It is also, with the piano notes, it's the closest that we go to the original Christopher Reeve theme. It's adapting like the very beginning of that theme, but it's in like, instead of like orchestra, it's in very small piano notes, and it starts with just quiet piano notes. And then come in the drums. The next instrument that comes in is drums, and this indicates like Clark's upbringing, like the drums, like at this point in his life, there's so much deep-rooted longing for answers, and like the drums, there is weight, the weight that is added to the music, and the weight that is in Clark to keep his secret from the world, the weight of his father's death, and the weight of an entire world forgotten and destroyed that lives inside of him. And then come the violins. Now, this is the transformation point. The violins invoke the same emotions as the piano in the very beginning, but they add more to them. It represents Clark, who's found his answers, who has embraced his heritage. But this transformation is about who he is and who he'll become. He's found his people, and now he understands who he is. And then finally comes the electric guitar. It is a complete departure from any of the Superman themes we've ever heard up until Man of Steel. So with the electric guitar, this now shows a Man of Steel, a man who has seen the failures of Krypton, who has seen the greatness in humanity. This is a man who has chosen Earth. With the electric guitar, this is now fully formed hero with a purpose. And while the pianos are still there, and so are the roots of Superman in this score and in this film, the electric guitar brings in a new sound, leading the way to a new hero theme, one built on the legacy of the past, but made for the future. A new sound stripping away the steel, a new hero formed, shaping the world and becoming a man of tomorrow. And then when the chorus happens, when all of these things work together, when all of these instruments come together in the chorus of Flight, which is like 5 minutes in, it represents the dream of Jor-El, Clark's coming of age, who Clark chooses to be, and it ends with a literal flight into the future for the character, for Cavill playing Superman. It paves the way for the next part of his story to push him higher in the sky. It is the first part of Man of Steel, a fully formed part of a character wanting to be more, wanting to see a tomorrow full of light and hope. It's the only part in the film that is actively working towards the Man of Steel becoming a man of tomorrow. Like it feels like part one of something where it would have, like, it ends on such a high that it would just go up and up, you know? So yeah, that's what I got. I'll be completely wrong, but yeah.
No, that's fucking great. It doesn't matter if you're not wrong. Like that's what you get from it. You know, your art is about interpretation, and some people could listen to that and just think it's a banger piece of music. You're looking at and seeing that the themes are being represented musically or sonically in that thing. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I think that a lot, man. Well done. Did you watch anything else? Or?
No, that's it.
I'm going to talk about two things real quick. A fantastic documentary that was in part created and directed by Jonathan Demme, who was a director who passed away. He directed the film Blow, and he made a film called, it was like a 3-part TV series that went for about 180 minutes called A Decade Under the Influence. And it was just about the period, you know, post 1950s, 1960s, where all the Hollywood movies, you know, the big musicals and, you know, Paint Your Wagon and all that kind of stuff were starting to fail at the box office because the country was becoming disenfranchised. The hippie movement was taking over. America was actively, you know, engaged in a conflict in Vietnam, which we'll talk about later, because Walter, you know, their fucking president was a complete crook, even though he told everyone he wasn't. And all of a sudden, these huge conglomerations, these movie studios, were taken over by, you know, people who didn't know anything about movies. All the you know, David Xanax and you know, Louis B. Mayers and all that ended up retiring or passing away, and all the movie men went away and corporations took over. And what they saw was that films by young people for young people is what was going to make money. And then Easy Rider came out, and that was it. And you get this glorious period between 1968 to 1979 where you have this just one of the probably most creative and unchecked periods of Hollywood in its history. The inmates took over the asylum. Like, it was all of these young people. And out of this, you get Scorsese, De Palma, Spielberg, Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, Peter Bogdanovich, all of these auteurs, you know, who come and make these incredible films. And you get stars like Jack Nicholson and Jane Fonda and Michael Douglas and all these like incredible actors who are now kind of elderly statesmen, were, you know, the young fiery youth out there in the streets protesting, and then protesting in their films as well. Yeah, look at the Best Picture awards between that period of time, and you will see some of my favorite movies. And that decade contains my favorite movies. You know, The French Connection, Serpico, Godfather Part 2. Yeah, it's just, and it's such a loving and carefully made documentary. And it doesn't sort of slam what happened at the end of that period when Spielberg came along and made Jaws and invented the blockbuster. And then a year later, Star Wars came out, and that was it. films with franchises, all of a sudden, the reporting, we still do it now. The popularity of a film is based on the amount of money it makes in its opening weekend. That's what gets reported. Reviewers are now, more concerned with that than they are with the quality of the picture. So yeah, it was this really beautiful period of free, unchecked creativity, and I love it. And I go back to it every couple of years, and it kind of gives me the juice and reminds me why I do what I do. But also, it makes me feel like the way that I want to do it is not possible anymore, because the climate isn't there for that kind of really taking the gloves off, But anyway. And I also watched for the next episode of No Country for Old Films, which drops this Wednesday. Will be on Spider-Man from 2002, directed by Sam Raimi. So I had to rewatch that. It's the first time I've rewatched it since the Spider-Thon that we did, when I went to the Astor and watched them all. And it was Toby and had a fucking great time. And holy shit, is that movie absolutely bananas. It is fucking so melodramatic and over the top. It's a cartoon. And I remember thinking at the end, when you see Spider-Man sort of swinging through the caverns, and, it's the first kind of really big swinging sequence that you see in that film that they saved all their money for. And he ends up kind of on that lamppost with the American flag, which is, of course, it was a year after 9/11. But the thing that I remembered was, and that I mentioned to Tommy when we were recording, is that you'll forget that before that movie, no one had seen that. The only representation of Spider-Man doing that was in comics or in animated form. They had to invent how to have Spider-Man realistically swing through. They invented new camera systems. They invented a thing called a spider cam, which literally it runs at 6 frames a second and could run on wires. You do that with a drone now, and it would go down into the caverns and stuff. Yeah, now they're just trying to make new ways to have that look, cool. But we're all kind of over it now because it's so pervasive. It's so in our face, all of this stuff. But back then it was just like, no wonder that movie made $1 billion or whatever it was, because it was just, they weren't trying to make something look new. They were having to invent something from scratch. And that's why that movie's so good, for all of its flaws and, its kind of hokiness 25 years later, a quarter of a century later. It still does a really great job of representing Spider-Man for that generation, excellent picture. So watch out for that episode coming this week. It's quite funny. Bonesaw is ready.
Awesome.
Shall we talk about the trailer trash?
Let's talk about some trailer trash.
It's Dune. Paul Atreides done fucked up straight away.
He got fucked up.
Getting slapped in the face by his woman, just like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Yeah, it's on. It's fucking on. What is Duncan doing back?
What is he doing back? I found out that Greg Fraser wasn't part of this because he's doing the Batman 2.
Oh, really? I thought he was going to be able to do both.
No. But...
Oh, that's disappointing.
The person who shot this is the same person who shot Babylon.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it Matthew Libatique?
No.
Or was it Chloe Zhao's cinematographer? Oh, that's what I forgot. Yeah. We need to also talk about how good Big Lebowski looks, because it was wrote by Roger fucking Deakins.
I cannot, man. This film is insane. It's Linus Sandgren.
Oh, okay.
He's done La La Land, Babylon, First Man, American Hustle, Saltburn, Don't Look Up, Wuthering Heights. So
he's Emerald Fennell and Damien Chazelle's go-to.
He did Jay Kelly quite recently.
It's a good movie.
Yep. There are parts of this trailer that look like they're shot on film, which is insane.
Yeah, that's like the Big Lebowski, there's rich blacks. There's not like, digital noise when you crunch blacks in digital filmmaking. You just get grain. or what looks like grain but is actually digital noise because the information goes away. On film, it doesn't do that because it's celluloid. It's a chemical process. It's not a digital one. So yeah, this has got me hyped more than the other one, more than the other trailer. I'm like, yeah, cool. Of course I'll see it. And now I'm like, I must know what's going on. Zendaya's getting ready to fucking, I don't know, ride a sandworm. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That wasn't a sex joke, everybody. That's not what I meant.
No, I know.
I said it a little bit sexier than I should have, but that's not what I was talking about.
But yeah, I loved the first teaser that we got because it has that war chant, and it got so popular that they used to hear as well. Unfortunately, it's still not available anywhere. I don't know if they're going to release it or not. But I genuinely just want to listen to it for hours and hours because it's Timothée Chalamet screaming his fucking lungs out with this war chant, and it's just, from what I'm guessing, it's just about the power that he has. And I am so ready for this. I am so ready for like just the first few like words that will be said in this film, and you'll immediately see how far Paul Atreides has fallen. But I want to talk about one shot in this trailer. I don't know if you remember this from the trailer or not, but it's the shot of...
I only just watched it, so probably.
It's the shot of the Furman, but specifically Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem, on a beach. Can you imagine not an entire generation, but an entire people of a planet whose intake of water, whose like water that they need to survive has just ever come from bodies that they have killed, to see an ocean. I can't, that shot lives rent free in my mind because it's going to be the most insane religious experience for Stilgar. And it looks so good, and the things that they are referring to it's going to be incredible. Like if this lands, it might change everything for the better, you know?
It's going to, because we weren't all sure. Like, yeah, okay, Dune, will it do well? Okay, it did. We're going to get a sequel. Dune 2, does Villeneuve want to come back? Nev. Does he want to come back, or does he want to go off and do Bond, like he is now scheduled to do? No, he's going to come back. So we get a proper trilogy, you know, like with an auteur director, and even though I don't believe in the auteur theory, but still, you know, what you would call an auteur director, and to finish the vision. Like, of course, this is going to be something special, you know.
This one comes out the same day as Avengers Doomsday, and I am so excited for this and so not excited for that.
Well, it's Doomsday then, you know. I think it's going to do a Barbenheimer, and you know, everybody's going to be taking sides, and I know which way I'm leaning in terms of what I want to see first, or what interests me first. Yeah, it's going to be a great film. Do you know what another great film is?
Of course, dude.
Well done. It's The Big Lebowski from 1998. Directed by Joel Cohen, but written by Joel and Ethan Cohen. I cannot tell you. It's hard to talk about comedies because you just want to say all the gags, but I want to talk about, you know, some of the specific things about it. Yeah, again, like I said, you know, it's Cohen's great pedigree. You know, they made this after they made Fargo, which is an interesting, to go from, like, you know, Fargo is funny in places, but it's a fairly dour thing, you know, like like it was a true story, but it wasn't really, even though all people were fucking running around trying to find that money. To go from that to what is essentially like a film about LA. It's a film noir, right, which I'll get to, but it's about LA, bowling, and nothing at all but friendship.
Yes.
It's about nothing and friendship. And the amount of things that happen, the amount of film noir tropes, and it took me a really long time to understand that that's what it was. It's the moment in, like, after Maud and the dude have slept together, and she's explaining about the fact that her father doesn't have any money. All the money comes from her. Her mother was the wealthy one. She got the inheritance, and she gives him an allowance. And the Little Urban Achievers is where he got the $1 million from, and he was embezzling it. And the dude kind of figures that out. And he says, "Oh, I've been getting so worked up about this case." And he said the word case. I'm like, oh, this is a detective story. And then the guy is like, the next scene is the guy comes up, it's Polito, and he's like, Brother Seamus, what, like an Irish monk? And he goes, no, I'm a PI. Like, and he's a PI, and he goes, you're playing one side against the other, like all that shit. And I was like, oh, okay, it must have been my 8th watch before I figured out it wasn't just an LA hangout movie, which is what I love about it. But yeah, if you think about it, the detective, the weird case, the strange characters that he meets across the way, Maud, the sort of strange and Midwestern accented eccentric painter, Jackie Treehorn, the kingpin porn purveyor of California, even the taxi driver who kicks him out of the car, the big, the guy with the fucking like headdress on and all that stuff, and he doesn't like the Eagles. The chief of police in Malibu, it just says, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. And he throws the cup at him and he calls him a fascist. Like, it's and he gets beat up. Like, that's such a trope for noir. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Joel and Ethan Coen have made some of my favorite movies, but I think like this is number one for me. Absolutely. And then No Country for Old Men. Yeah, I just love their work so much. The screenplay for this is excellent. If you get a chance to read it, it's like A+ screenplay structure. If you want to build a narrative and have it seem meaningless, but have quite a lot of meaning. Yeah. I don't remember when I first saw it. It's always been with me. When was the first time you saw it? Obviously not for film club.
Yeah. It was probably 2021 during lockdown. It was just one of those things where I had heard so much about it, and then when I finally watched it, it was recommended to me by a dear friend of mine, and then when I finally watched it, I was like, this is insane, because it makes me feel like I want to watch more movies like this, but there are no movies like this because they never used to make movies like this. It's the most mainstream Wes Anderson film you'll ever see.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, but there is no, when someone says like, you've seen The Big Lebowski, I haven't seen it, and then what's it like? What's it about? You hit a wall. Like, how do I do that? Like, even in like an IMDb summary or a fucking AI summary, you Google cunts wouldn't even like. It's true. I'm sorry. I'm leaving that C word in this time. Fuck you, you lazy motherfuckers. Hire people. Even the barest representation of what the film is wouldn't do it justice. You know what I mean? There's so much going on there.
Yeah, 100%. It's also one of the first films that I've ever seen, or one of the only films I've ever seen, where so much of it happens, yet the main character at the very end does not change.
No.
He's the same dude he was when he was plunged into his toilet 3 minutes into the film. And it's, like you said, it's about there's so much happening, but it's almost about nothing. Yet every time you watch it, there's something that you get out of it. And that's the experience of this film. It's an audience film rather than if you go in wanting to critique almost everything, this one falls apart like many others. But it's the way that the Coen brothers do things in this film that they just connect. Like there's no way that in any other film one of the main characters shouts at the other that you're out of your element and it's funny. Yet every time it happens in this film, it is the most funniest thing ever.
We're listening to the dude's story. No. Then you have no frame of reference. You're like a child who walks into a movie.
Not everything in this world happens at your convenience. It's like,
you miserable piece of shit. What's the matter with Walter, dude? Poor Donnie. Like, that was the thing that I noticed. It's a moment where Walter, over the line.
Yeah.
You're all over the line, Smokey. And he pulls the gun out. You're entering a world of pain. And as soon as he pulls the gun on Smokey, you see Steve Buscemi like slink out of the frame. Yep. It's fucking amazing. they're calling the cops, man. Like, it's just, the dude is so good. And then they're in the car afterwards. Please take it easy. He's the most tightly wound stoner I've ever met, you know.
Calmer than you.
Even though, like, when he's in the bath listening to whale sounds, getting high. Oh, fucking far out, man. He thinks the carpet business did this. He's just, oh man, I love it. It's starting with the voice of the stranger as well, and then introducing him into the narrative is really interesting. It's got that kind of weird, like, mystical quality to it.
He also breaks the fourth wall.
And yeah, just before we get any further as well, we were saying, sorry, what's that?
Sorry to interrupt you, but he also breaks the fourth wall in this scene, like at the very end.
Yeah. The dude abides. I like that. Like, he's just so great. You have to use so many cuss words. The fuck you talking about? It just makes me laugh thinking about it. It's probably more than anything. Like, yeah, okay, so you get the stranger, and that's kind of interesting, and all the surrealist stuff. We actually studied the gutter balls sequence where he dreams of the porno, and it's that great song, you know, just dropped in. We studied that in the surrealist unit when I was at film school, even though it's like, you know, barely surrealist, but still. Yeah, the inciting incident is someone peeing on a rug, and it happens, you're right, it's 3 minutes in, he gets slammed into that toilet, the milk goes everywhere, which cracked me up this time as well. You know, where's the money, Lebowski? Oh, it's down there, just me take one more look, you know. He picks up the bowling ball. The fuck is this? Clearly you're not a golfer. Like, and he picked, no, not on the rug, man. He's just so measured, you know. Yeah, don't do that. He's like a fucking loser. Hey, at least I'm housebroken. And the great shot again, it's Deakins. Like, he just knows everything is so deliberate.
Yep.
The lens choice, when to use high speed, like when in the intro to the Jizzes, you know, when he turns around and he starts to dance and it's in probably 50 or 60 frames a second and it like hits on the beat. When to use that? The intent of a dolly. You know, a DP once said that to me. We were on set one time and we were talking about the difference between, you know, like handheld rigs and stabilizers that became very popular, you know, especially in video production, not film production, video production, and then became popular in film production because they're, you know, whatever, they got these gyros and all these mechanics, and they're just really, they have no attitude. There's no intent there. The intent of a dolly, the intent of the lens choice, you know, the intent of where to put the camera and when to move it and when not to, like holding on a shot of the dude sitting on his toilet tank with his glasses on, you know, just dripping wet from having been beat up by these two guys. You know, it's a perfect frame. And yeah, Deakins just, you know, he lights, it looks special because it's not. It looks like the room has been lit.
Agreed.
And yet then you get this amazing sequence where all you have is the dude walking around the corner of a big stone wall and there's just a huge light behind him. It's one huge key light. That's really, really stylized, you know? It's that kind of the marriage of the fantastical but with the mundane that makes this particular piece of work sing. It really is perfect for me. Like to steal a phrase from Andrew Jupin from We Hate Movies, I don't even breathe as confidently as these guys make movies. Like they're about their shit, and I love it.
I haven't seen a lot of Coen Brothers stuff. It's probably this and maybe like two other things. And you know, like you said, like this film is also about friendship, and I feel like that is the best way to put it. Because it's like describing catching up with friends at a dinner, because all you did was go and have dinner, but yet it wasn't that for you, you know? Like these are fully formed characters with issues and insecurities and anger management problems and all sorts of things, right? And they're just together. That's the film. The film is that they're together, but like there's so much depth and so much richness in each character, and they're so distinct that it doesn't make you feel like it's about nothing. It's also like it might be one of the most quotable films of all time. second to maybe The Room.
I make the argument that it's more credible than The Room. Yeah, I mean, I whenever I start talking about this movie with my friends Dan and Tim, who also adore it, that's all it is. We just talk back and forth, doing the lines, and everybody has the one that really gets them. You know what I mean? Like for my mate Mike and his wife, it's where the cops like leads. Yeah, they got us working in shifts. Like that kills them. You know what I mean? For my mate Tim, it's where he comes into the house where they're going to talk to Larry, the kid, and the writer Arthur Digby Sellers is in the background, and he goes, "And a good day to you, sir." Like, he's in a fucking iron lung, and then he says to the maid, he's like, "Does he still write?" And she's like, "No, he has health problems." It's like he's in a fucking iron lung. Like, of course he has health problems. For me, the one that absolutely kills every time is when he goes up to Bunny on the deck after he's met the Big Lebowski, and he goes up to her and he's like, you know, like rubbing his beard, and she's like blow on the toes and yeah, whatever. You sure he won't mind? And it cuts to the fantastic Peter Stormare in the pool on the Lilo, you know, Carl Hungus, and he's passed out like with a bottle. And it's like, no, he won't care. He doesn't care about anything. He's a nihilist. And the dude goes, "Oh, that must be exhausting." So great. And then immediately after that, she's like, "I'll suck your cock for $1,000. The amazing look on Philip Seymour Hoffman's face, R.I.P., where he's like, "Oh, fuck, she's done it again. She's embarrassed me in front of this guy." And Brent can't, you know, he has to pay $100 if he wants to watch. And he walks him away, and the dude goes, "Oh, I'm just going to go and find a cash machine." Just unbelievable. Like, pound for pound, moment to moment, like every 30 seconds, there is a gag that will take your fucking head off. I think my favorite, and it straddles the line of being an intellectual comedy, but also an absolute fucking joke. It's really funny. Like, at one point, he calls the Big Lebowski a human paraquat. That's like, paraquat is like blood and bone, the stuff you put in your garden to make it grow better, manure, basically. Like that's a really intellectual joke. I had to look that up. But then you've got a joke of him driving in his car, listening to Creedence, drinking a beer, noticing Polito's behind him, and going to flick the roach butt out the window, and it hits the window and lands in his lap. And he's like, "Ah!" and has to put it out, and then hits a big bin, you know, with his car, the car that gets more and more destroyed throughout the film, something like that. But then there's the best one, which starts as a really, really silly joke and becomes an intellectual joke. After he gets home from the Larry incident, they go to see Larry, and they beat up his car, but it's not his car, it's the neighbor's car. So the neighbor beats up the dude's car, and it hard cuts to them driving home with no front windscreen, and Walter and Donnie are eating In-N-Out burgers. Right. And then later on, the dude's on the phone to Walter. He's like, "Yes, the car made it home. You're calling me at home." And he's nailing very badly a piece of wood in front of his door. Right. And just so he can chock the legs of a chair underneath it so that he can put the headrest of that chair underneath the handle so he can't open the door. And as soon as he does it, someone opens the door because it opens out. And he's like, it's just such a stoner thing to do. But then later on, when he comes home and he realizes his whole house has been ransacked, he trips over that piece of wood that he's nailed in. So it starts as this really silly sight gag and becomes a really intellectual joke. Like, he's just fallen into something again. And that's when Maud comes up and says, "Love me." That's incredible comedy writing, to have something come back like that and change the purpose of that joke, you know? Sorry, I get really excited about this movie.
You don't have to be sorry, mate. This is your favorite film.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's Jaws, Ghostbusters, this, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And every time I watch it, it nearly swaps places with Ghostbusters. But I don't want to be fickle, that's all. Walter's really fucking damaged.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's really fucked up.
Maybe he never did go to Vietnam.
Yeah, there's some theories about that, and I'm not. I mean, John Goodman is fucking amazing. Like this is the role of his career, you know, that he'll be remembered for. It just, yeah, what an incredible, how to make that character who is so unhinged. He's like Patrick Star.
No idea who that is.
You know, from SpongeBob. You know, SpongeBob's friend, Patrick Star.
Right, yeah.
He's just like, he's totally insane and you know, turns so quickly into rage. But he'd never hurt Donnie, really. He actually really cares about Donnie. Like at the end, he's like, what are you going to do? They're not going to do anything, man. These men, Donnie, these men are cowards. Like just, he's actually quite protective. And then, you know, man down, and runs over and, you know, there was no shots fired. He's having a heart attack. And then like scattering his ashes, which we'll talk about a bit later, but he is a really decent man. And also, like, how did this, you see the Jesus, right? And he's got this weird Liam, his bowling partner. Liam and me, we're going to fuck you up. And there's no way that the Jesus and Liam were friends before the bowling league. What are you laughing at?
Is this the way they're shining the balls? Like the bowling
we're doing it together.
Balls are
no, he's a sex offender with a record.
it's that, but it's also I'm gonna shoot you until the gun goes click.
Just get you pull any shit like that, you pull a piece out on the lane, I take it out of your hands, I stick it up your ass and pull the trigger till it goes click. Then the dude's like, Jesus. You said it, man. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Also, the irony of a child sex offender named Jesus is not lost on me.
Yeah. No, it's not lost on anyone, I don't think. I love that. I also like that later on, because you only see him twice, and yet he has such a hold over the film, where he comes in, and Liam's like fake holding him back, and he's like, what's this shit? What's this day of rest shit? I don't fucking care. It don't matter to Jesus. I'll fuck you in the ass Saturday. I'll fuck you in the ass next Wednesday instead. You got a dead Wednesday, baby. Like, he's just, it makes such an impact, and especially because he gets that intro. You know, it's that beautiful, it's the Spanish version of Hotel California, which is like, We Hate Movies did an episode on this film as well that I listened to recently, and I don't want to steal what they said, but yeah, they also agree with this. That's the better version of that song. It's the Spanish version of it, where he's licking the ball and he rolls the ball and the dolly in on the Jesus, you know, so you know who he is. Like, it's so great at setting him up. And then that kind of, man, fucking Quintana, dude can roll like that. So my point is, sorry, to go back, you know, those two were put together, Jesus and Liam, like absolutely not. Like Spanish, flamboyant, possibly gay sex offender and a little white middle class dude that looks like a sausage. Like, no, absolutely not.
Stop fat shaming Liam for no reason.
I'm not fat shaming him. I've said his face looks like a sausage. He looks like a bratwurst sausage. That doesn't mean he's fat. It just means he looks like a sausage. That's all I'm saying. That wasn't a fat joke. Great mustache. But does that mean that Donnie and Walter and the dude were put together in the league? Like, did they know each other before bowling? Did they meet through bowling? It must be the case, right?
Yeah, because they're so inherently different from each other that it has to be like this force of nature that brings them together instead of like a decision to like, I'm going to go out and meet this person, right? It's what happens when you make friends. It's you're forced in like proximity, and then you just vibe with the fuckers, and then you don't. And sometimes you don't vibe with vibe with the fuckers that you put with together. That's what makes like friendships great. But yeah, I don't think there's a world that like all three of them are friends before going into the league. But I think they've been part of this league like multiple times. You know, like. This isn't like a new thing, right? Like this is maybe like 2 or 3 years of like friendship, but because of the league.
Is that it, you reckon? Because I don't know. There's just such familiarity there. Like, I don't know. It's there's there's a history there that we don't see, and it's beautiful because I love getting just dropped into something. And I mean, that's like film noir as well. You're in there, and the case happens. Like you don't learn that much about the surrounding things. But again, those strange characters who pop in and out. The Big Lebowski is a good example of it. That character, you know, strong men cry too. That scene, fucking hell. Philip Seymour Hoffman as well is so amazing. This uptight guy who's just got the company rhetoric that he's got to dole out to people. You know, necessary means for a higher education. You know, you didn't go to college. He then starts to quite like the dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, her life is in your hands, dude. He starts calling him dude, you know, and he did the reading, and he quite likes, you know, the dude because, you know, he's very charming. He's very charming. Like when they go in and they get him to do that, you know, it's not about the rug. They get him to go in there, and he's like, you know, I've done this and done that. And he's like, mind if I do a J? And he like just that. And he starts smoking the shit, and he's like gets high, and they give him the ransom note, and he reads it really slowly in his head. Take $1 million, ring bunny. Then and in the background you can hear the Big Lebowski still going, and then he's like, "Oh man, that's a bummer. What's that? That man right there. That's a bummer." And then the moment that he has with Philip Seymour Hoffman afterwards, where he's like, you know, thinks the carpet piss is just, well, we just don't know, dude, but you might be in a place to be able to tell us because you know what they look like. Just so great. But yeah, it's those little incidentals, the little incidental characters that kind of make the film richer, and you don't need all of that information. Like Maud is the perfect example of a femme fatale as well. You know, he goes in and he sees her in an unusual circumstance. She's harnessed up and painting and whatever, and then just comes in, I'll be right with you, Mr. Lebowski, in that fantastic old-fashioned Hollywood-style voice that's gone away. That you don't hear that anymore.
Yeah. My paintings have been described as vaginal.
Yeah, it just make you uncomfortable. Even the word makes some men uncomfortable. Vagina. And then later she says, the man from the beaver picture. Beaver? Do you mean vagina? And they're like, she puts on the thing, the Carl Hungus video, and he's like making a drink, and it's called log jamming, and it's, you know, porn or whatever, and she's putting it on, and she says, that's the guy. And there's Bunny, you know, I can't remember the actress's name off the top of my head. Tara Reid, you know, playing Bunny in this porno. And so, this is my girlfriend. You know, she just came over to take a shower. Then Maud goes, the story is ludicrous. Yeah, go, oh, you came to fix the cable. You can guess what happens next. He fixes the cable. He's so sardonic. I just love it so much. When he kind of takes stuff on as well, you know, after that meeting in particular, he's in the limo with the guy, you know, and then gets lifted out and put into a, hey man, there's a beverage here, and like put in the other limo, and he has the interaction with the man behind the chair. There's always a man behind the chair in Joel and Ethan Coen movies, which represents, you know, hypocrisy and you know, the big business and the man. And he's in the chair, and this is where they get the toe. But it's that kind of back and forth where he uses the wrong terms, like, you know, in the parlance of our times, and some new shit has come to light. Like, he's just trying to get himself out of this fuck up, you know. And then it's later on, like, where, you know, they had the argument at the bar about, you know, you can't have an animal domestic in an area like that. Talking about the weasel they put in the bathroom. He's like, what are you, a fucking park ranger now? And they bugger off, and you get the introduction of the stranger, which is really funny because name me another movie in which the omniscient narrator became a character in the film.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
I don't think that
it's never happened, right? I think as well, like the fact that you're really invested in what the story is and the dude isn't.
Yeah. Is
so helpful. Also, I've just shout out for the first dream sequence where he gets punched out by Maud's dudes and they take the rug, and he has the dream about flying and she's on the thing, and they put a camera inside of a bowling ball.
What?
Go back and watch it again. Well, obviously they didn't do that, but they mocked up a camera to look like it was inside of the bowling ball, because he comes out and he's tiny and the ball rolls towards him and he ends up in one of the holes and it rolls like this. Just ingenuity like that just doesn't fucking exist anymore. It's crazy that we don't do that. When they go they go to, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. He goes to the sweetest thing. They go to the landlord's dance thing. Like the dude, he comes over, I've got my dance cycle, I'd really love you to come and give me notes. And he doesn't know where that guy's from. He's like, dude, it's already the first. Far out. Oh, sorry. He's like, no, I want you to slip me the rent under the door. He's like, thanks very much, and I'll see you there. And he goes. Yeah. With all of the shit that's going on, he goes to this guy's dance recital where the guy's doing this weird interpretive dancing, and he takes his friends. Like, I've got friends who wouldn't even come see me play drums well when I was in a band. I've got friends who didn't even come and see me in a play where I was good. You know what I mean? That's a really sincere, sweet thing. But it's also just before they go and see Larry. And my favorite part is, it's just right near the In-N-Out burger. There was a good burgers, Walter. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. That's my favorite shut the fuck up, because he's got to hold it in. So you get that whole sequence of, good day to you, sir. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry. And then when he brings him up later with Jackie Treehorn, he's like, his name's, Larry Digby Sellers or whatever, and flunking social studies because they got his homework. So after that sequence in particular, where the guys come in and he's like, Jackie Treehorn wants to see you, and the edit ends with a on the drums, and it's the beginning of that song, and it cuts to black, but then the black is pierced by this naked woman entering and exiting bottom of top of frame, and then coming down, entering top of frame, exiting bottom of frame. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And it's in time with the music. And then it cuts to she's on a beach being thrown on a trampoline. It's like, it's so noir just to be thrust into a new environment like that, and they're shooting at high speed. And then Jackie Treehorn walks right to camera, says, hello, dude. I'm Jackie Treehorn. Fucking fantastic sequence just to get you to the next part of the story.
That whole Jackie Treehorn thing reminds me a lot of The Nice Guys.
It so is, especially the fact that it doesn't. It's right out of a film noir, like I said, the meeting of this kind of unusual eccentric who has plot information, but it's not. Nothing comes of it. He's like talking about going to video, and the new digital for I still jerk off manually. Well, that nothing happens. He doesn't learn anything new. He's like trying to give him information and trying to get more money out of him. Like the way that you do business, Jackie, blah, blah, blah. But he's drugged him, which is, typical of a noir as well. And the best, my favorite joke in the whole film is the visual sight gag of this, of where he's sitting down and Jackie takes a phone call. And he sees him write. It's really specific. They do a close-up on the pencil, specifically writing something. And Jackie's like, I'll be right back, dude. He gets up and scrunches up the paper, and the dude sort of leans back as if he's going to rest in the seat that he's in. And then as soon as the guy, Jackie Treehorn, leaves the room, the dude jumps up and goes over to the pad and does what you would do in a detective movie. They do it in The Nice Guys. He uses pencil to rub an impression of what was last written on it. Nothing was written. He's just drawn a figure with a huge cock. And he's like looking at it like, hang on, this isn't giving me any, you know what I mean? It's absolutely hysterical. And if you remove that entire scene out of the film, nothing changes. Yes. There's no, apart from the fact that he gets drugged and then has the fantastic just dropped in, see what condition my condition was in, that song. And you get that whole, great sequence with the nihilists with the scissors, because he's seen that painting at Maud's house and all that shit. Like just really excellent execution of something surreal. You could get to that another way, but he ends up running down the street, singing the Branded theme in the back of the cop's car, getting smashed in the street. Jackie Treehorn treats objects like women, man. I don't like you. I don't like your jerk off face. I don't like your jerk off name. And I don't like you, jerk off. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. It's, the way that you get from set piece to set piece is fucking fantastic, even if they don't further the plot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's also just like you pointed out, like the fact that the dude is not interested in any of it is what makes everything that's happening so fucking funny. Because he's actively trying to get out of the situation, and the more he tries to get out of it, the worse it becomes for him. Even like the simplest thing of throwing out the cigarette butt becomes this thing that like almost kills him. You know?
It's not a cigarette. It's a fucking joint. Yeah. He's so inept. It's the beginning. It's the first time you see him. You know, sometimes there's a man, he's just his man for his time and place. And that's the dude in Los Angeles. And he just goes up and picks up the carton half and looks at one and looks at the other. And you know he's stoned. And the funny thing is, like, he's also not, if you have a grizzled film noir detective, they're not usually, I mean, they might have been in reality, but they're not usually 49 or whatever the fuck, which is what Jeff Bridges was when they made this film. He's 49 years old. It's crazy, right?
He looks like he's in his 30s.
Yeah, but that's some hard living. You know what I mean? Like, when he says later, you know, I was a roadie for Metallica, speed of sound to a bunch of assholes. The Fort Huron statement. He is, Jeff Bridges is the king. I cannot name a performance of his that I don't enjoy. Just incredible. Starman, True Grit. He's in a great show at the moment called The Old Man, where he plays an aging assassin. Yeah, he's one of the greats. I love him so much. And this is an iconic. No one else could do it. There is absolutely nobody else who could have played the dude. It's just impossible. And to have like a legacy for a film that didn't do well. You know, that's what cult classics do. They sneak up on you. Like, you know, someone has a videotape of like, you got to see this movie. It's fucking weird. And then you get it. It speaks to you and you're like, holy shit, this is my business, you know? This is where I found out what you could do in comedy. Like, you could be both incredibly smart and incredibly dumb at the same time. Within the same movie, within the same moment, like moment to moment, you can do it. The fantastic sequence that they, like, after they've had sex, Maud comes in and says, love me. And, you know, she's had him checked out by the doctor. And the incredibly smart joke of her, they're talking about the thing and she's talking about her father embezzling the money or whatever. And he's like making a drink, you know, cocktail, and he's making a drink and he's talking about the case and, you know, oh, who hurt you, Joel, this time? I was the chief of police of Malibu and blah, blah, blah. And she's doing like these weird like exercises, it looks like, and she's got her knees up and he's in mid-sentence. He's like, yeah, and I think this, what is that, yoga? And she's like, no, it just helps you conceive. And that's a really smart joke. What is that, yoga? No, it's helping me conceive. The spit take that he does is the dumb part of that joke. And that happened within seconds of each other, you know? Like, that's incredible. That's incredible writing.
Yeah, it's also, I don't know, because it's like very recent. But her like doing the conceiving poses reminded me of Nicolas Cage doing the spider stretches in Spider Noir.
In Spider Noir, yeah. The twitching, yeah. We also, you know, when they go and drop off the money to the nihilists and they Walter comes, you bunch of fucking amateurs, and they throw a ringer out for a ringer. It's his underwears. My fucking whites. And then they've stolen the dude's car, you know. Phone's ringing, dude. Thank you, Donnie.
That entire sequence after they get back is so insane because almost every time like you go to the dude, it is like the phone's ringing like all the time. And he's so in denial.
The crane down, like of him sitting and Walter's like standing there, got with a cigarette half out his mouth and he's about to bowl, and the crane down on him to the dude sitting with the phone ringing, and then Walter comes back around and sits and he's like, you know, what do I say? He's like, what exactly is the problem? That's all one shot, you know, the kind of isolation that gives. There's no way you'd stick a fucking crane inside of a bowling alley where you built it or not now. You know, no one's got that kind of patience. Everybody's got to be making shit. That's, the other thing. The film's very patient.
Oh, my God.
If you took out all the scenes that were maudlin and you know, patient and taking their time with things or sped them up, the film would be half an hour shorter, you know?
It's perfect the way it is, because not only does it make you feel like you're high while you're watching it, regardless of your current state or not, it's also it's like you're feeling exactly how the dude's feeling. Or like what? Like everything is like, what? Why? How? You know? Like just out of fucking nowhere.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did we get here? How the fuck did we get here? Like all these different stanzas. That because immediately after the scene where they sleep together, and she gives him the information about the Big Lebowski being a crook, he calls Walter, who's on Shabbos.
Oh my
He's
God!
like, I can't drive. I shortly don't fucking roll. And that he has the thing with Quintana or whatever, and then they go and visit the Big Lebowski. And he's like, you just needed me to be a patsy, you know, someone who wouldn't be this square people wouldn't give a shit about, you know. He's like, you've got your story, I've got mine. And Walter like picks him up. He's a fucking cripple, man. Don't do it. And this guy can fucking walk. And he ends up on the floor and all that stuff. And then they just end up, the next scene is they're bowling.
Yeah. The bowling is like, you know, the reset of every insane thing that happens.
It is, yeah. Well, I mean, after after they do the drop off, oh fuck it, dude, let's go bowling. That is the hard reset, and then they walk out, and that's when they meet the nihilists, and you know, one of them's got a fucking sword and shit, and here, take the $4. I fuck you. One of them's Flea, by the way, from Red Hot Chili Peppers. But that's the denouement, like that's the end of the picture. Is the final action set piece? You know, what would be the you know, if it's Casablanca, it's where he gets her to the plane. You know, it's that's it. And then the next scene is like a hard cut to the funeral home where they're, you know, haggling over the price of an urn and end up going to Ralph's to get a fucking Folgers coffee can to put Donnie in. And there's, you know, one of the best jokes of all time, not only when Walter gets up and he's like talking about Donnie being a surfer. Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? It's like, surf these that you loved so well, the bosom of the Pacific Ocean. And he undoes and they're on a cliff. And he just shakes his friend's ashes out and like bangs on the bottom of the tin like it's a fucking, like he's, you know, making a peanut butter sandwich. And it just covers the dude and he just stands there like completely frozen, covered in his friend's dead ashes. And then like just the perfect beat of time. And then Walter turns around and goes, oh, sorry, dude, and starts patting him down. And then the dude just loses it. He's like, everything's going to be a fucking travesty with you. And then they hug. Because they're both so hurt that they've lost their friend, and Walter's so hurt that he's just a big dumb guy. It's really beautiful to get to that place when the journey to get there meant nothing. The connectivity is only character based. The scenes don't connect at all. Again, you're resetting in the bowling. It's so purposeless, but I love that. It's kind of what Zen is, you know, the purposelessness of it all. And that's the whole thing. And then we're back bowling again. That's how we kind of finish the whole thing up. They're back to where they began. Like you said, the dude hasn't changed. He hasn't grown. He's got new information, but he didn't learn anything. And he's talking to the cowboy character, you know, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Take it easy. I know that you will. Well, the dude abides. And the cowboy sign off. The touching the brim, like catch you on later down the trail. Hey, you got any more of that good sarsaparilla? And it, you know, cranes up to a guy bowling, and you just get the ball rolling towards the pins, and you hear the strike, you don't actually see it, and cut to black, like, and you're just sitting there going, what happened? What the fuck just happened to me for 2 hours? And it still works. Yeah. It still works all these years later, you know?
It's one of those films where it ends and you don't want it to.
No, I would love more adventures of these guys. But then again, it is perfect. And John Turturro wrote and directed a sequel called Jesus Rolls. And it's centered around, look at that. It's centered around the character of Jesus. And they backpedal on he was a sex offender thing.
Yeah, maybe I'm not watching that because...
No, absolutely no way I would watch that. No, I'm not interested. I love John Turturro, but that character lives in that place and that's where I want him to live, you know. It really is a perfect comedy, everybody. Sorry if I just machine gunned at you all of my favorite parts, basically, but...
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I'm very passionate about this film. It's like, I had a fucking shitty month, everyone. It's been not great I've watched this at the end of the week and to be really tired. Like I was really tired. I got home from something and I was like, it was a family dinner with you know, my partner's crew. And I was out of steam completely. I was completely out of words and energy and thoughts. And I put on the 4K of this. I dimmed the lights, and it was like catching up with old friends. You know, it was just so beautiful, and it really did cheer me up. And I'm so grateful for everybody for listening and for giving me the opportunity to just like blast about how much I love this movie and how much it means to me, and how I feel like you should go back and investigate it again and really get more out of it, because I've seen it 100 times and it rewards on each viewing. It gets better, and I'm still laughing. I still laugh at all the same places. I still laugh at all the same jokes. Sometimes I find new ones, and yeah, it's a really, really intelligent but silly film, and that's right where I live. Like smart and funny. And nonsense is my favorite kind of comedy. So it's The Big Lebowski by the Coen Brothers. Final thoughts, recommendations?
No, I know you went through like the entire film, but do you want to do like favorite moments?
Of course. All right. I'll try and do new ones. You start first. I think probably, like I said, the part where he nails the bit of wood to the floor and then the door opens out, and just the bewilderment on his face. It's not disappointment. He's just like, oh, has it always done that? Like, you know, it's such a stoner mentality. That's fucking fantastic. One
of my favorite parts is the first interaction that the dude has with the Big Lebowski. And how in the Big Lebowski's rant about the life choices of the dude, he's talking about how the dude always needs somebody to blame. Like he always needs somebody to blame of the things that have happened to him. Yet he's doing the same exact thing. Like that's the entire purpose of that scene, is to give the Big Lebowski dude to rant at. And he's blaming him for everything, even though the dude is like, I just want my rug back, man. Yeah, that's right. The dude just wanted his rug back. Yeah. And then he goes on. So true. And says, he said let me take anyone in the house. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I was just about to say that, like he goes out and says, take any of the rugs in the house. Fucking hysterical. In the car with the Big Lebowski and Brent, where he's like fucking trying to get himself out of this, you know. Some new shit has come to light. And shit, man, she kidnapped herself. Like, you know, you're not privy to all this. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm not sure about this, but I got to check with my tax guy. Can you pay me in cash? Because I'm worried it's going to bump me up into a higher tax bracket. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't have a tax. Oh, if you've got the checkmate out and they give him a fucking toe. Fucking that rant, which when you heard at the beginning of the episode is fucking hysterical. And I find myself cackling at it even now. He's like, immediately after, we're like, they're throwing the ringer and they're, you know, fuck it, dude, let's go bowling. And they go back. And the dude is talking about how they're probably going to kill this poor woman. And Walter's like, the fucking slut kidnapped herself. Yeah. And then they start talking about fucking Lennon. And Donnie in the background, like, I counted like 4 times he says this. He says, I'm the walrus. Yeah. And then at the end, Walter's like, no, you fucking piece of shit.
And then as they're walking out as well, they're going to kill that poor woman. They're going to kill that poor woman. Like he couldn't give a shit. Yeah, poor Donnie. Donnie's always in between them as well. He's always like framed between them. It's really cute. Excellent. My favorite is the joke I talked about where he goes to Jackie Treehorn's and Jackie Treehorn draws a picture of a guy with a huge cock. Like it means nothing. The setup for that joke is really long. Yes. Because it's almost the entire scene. You need to know that the phone's there and he walks away from it when he comes to work. And that's where the bar is as well. And then the phone rings, you get the close up, you get him leaving, you get the dude pretending to get up, then you get him getting up, and then you get him doing the pencil and you see the like impression of the guy with the and then you look at it's his reaction of like, hang on, what? I thought this was going to be really important, and he's almost disappointed it isn't. Like that's such an incredible length to go to for a cock joke, and I'm here for it. I fucking appreciate it. 100% Coens. Thanks very much. Back in, 30 years ago, whatever the fuck. Yeah, that's my number one fave. What about you?
It's a tie because this film is so funny. It's so hard to like pick like individual things. Well, it's a tie between the bizarre like dream sequence he has before he ends up at the Florida station. You don't expect a film like The Big Lebowski, or just you don't expect this film to go in this like insane abstract dream sequence.
No, it comes out of nowhere.
It's just it's just there, and it will enhance it or whatever. And then like the immediate sober up when like you're in the station, it's just like none of this makes any sense anymore. You just need to get out of it.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it feels like watching the movie. Yeah. But you don't want to go. You just want to sit in and marinate.
Yeah. It's a tie between the dream sequence and at the end when the nihilists show up. Because all they want is the fucking $8 that 3 people have to get there.
Exactly. We fuck you up, we tag some money. Fuck you. He throws a bowling ball at him. He rips the dude's ear off. Like, Walter's a gangster. He fucking tears these guys up.
Yeah.
So great. It's excellent, everybody. Go and check it out. The 4K is amazing. Roger Deakins is an alien. He is to cinematography what Prince was to music. Can't be missed. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Next week, we'll just be talking about us, really. Episode 99. 99 Problems, but a pod ain't one. And we'll be going back over our history together, which started a very long time ago. In fact, I will tell you right now, the first episode that we released, 25th of March, 2022. So it's been a beautiful couple of years, and we're going to talk about it and have a little chat before we roll on into episode 100, which we'll talk about next week anyway. But Addie, do we have any questions?
Not from anybody, but I do have one. I have a question. If there's one thing that you could change from this film, what would it be?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, I can't even entertain it. It is perfect. That's why it's in the top 4, mate. Well, I only say top 4 because of Letterboxd. I have a top 5, but the top 4 just sit in there.
What's the 5th one?
Serpico.
Nice.
The Al Pacino picture. And that jockey's position with Batman Returns, but only at Christmas time. Is there something you'd change about it? And be careful.
No. Only right answer.
Well done. Yeah, exactly. That's the only right answer is no, you wouldn't change The Big Lebowski at all. I love you, buddy. Thanks for doing this episode. I'm really, really grateful. It was a wonderful end to the week. And to all you out there in Podland, be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. And remember, fuck hate.
Love Vince. And please, stay in your element, or you're going to summon Walter from out of nowhere.
Yeah. And John Goodman will turn up at your house with a bowling ball and whoop your motherfucking ass. Good night, everybody.